Nabila, can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. We seem to be having some technical issues with Islamic Relief South Africa. Nabila, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. How are you doing? And what is happening with you guys during this extremely busy time of the year? No, I can't hear Nabila. I think we are really experiencing ongoing issues here at the studio this morning. Let's take a short ad break and we'll be back with you in a minute or two.
Hello.
Hello, hi. And somebody needs to help her. Poor girl's working hard and she's probably getting very nervous.
Yeah, no. Let's change your earphones. And then I think it'll be better.
There's nothing. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, let's wait for it to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And our next guest is standing by for 11:50. So.
Okay.
وما لك فيها هذه الجنة نعيمها أحلى من كل ملذات الدنيا وكل ما فيها هذه الجنة لا مثيل لجمالها.
Technical issues this morning. There seems to be a whole host of gremlins in the system, but I do believe that Nabila is online. She's from Islamic Relief South Africa. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. And as I was saying earlier on, I should imagine a very, very busy time for Islamic Relief as far as trying to get as much relief out as possible, and also your collection drives. Welcome to the program, Nabila.
Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah for having us. And Ramadan Kareem to you. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Ramadan is a very busy time for us indeed. We have collections and programs happening in our various regions, KZN, Johannesburg, and Cape Town. So let me start with KZN. They've been ongoing distributions in various of the underprivileged areas, such as Mahlabatain Islamic Center, Newlands East Masjid, the Islamic Relief Office Field in Copeville, Pietermaritzburg, Overport, Kanga. And so we literally have been very busy going to the various areas and donating hampers, which were made up of dried beans, cooking oil, milk powder, rice, maize meal, oats, salt, sugar, and tinned fish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some of the stuff we've been doing in KZN at the moment. And we also have been busy in the other regions like Cape Town and Johannesburg.
Okay, so what's happening in those regions? Is it a similar type of operation rolling out? And just before you respond to that question, the fact that we're in the first week of Ramadan only, you guys have been so busy giving out hampers. Your planning must be done, I should imagine, logistically months or possibly even a year in advance for you to enable people to receive hampers timelessly in time for Ramadan so that at least they can feed themselves and their families.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So most of these distributions have happened before Ramadan already.
Wow.
So that we can, like you said, get the meals and get the hampers to the people before they start fasting. And so I've mentioned the places in KZN that we've covered. We've done the same thing in Ramadan, in Cape Town, where we've distributed about 800 Ramadan hampers. Not to say that it's not ongoing during Ramadan, but we do obviously try and do most of it before. So in Cape Town, we have District 6, Bonteheerville, Athlone, Drift Sands, the Leadership College. Those are just some of the places. There are many, many places. If you come to our offices, you will just look at our boards, and our logistic planning happens there. If you're an outsider, you may not understand it, but we at Islamic Relief know exactly what's going
Okay.
on.
Right.
And that board is very, very full, with
Right.
us trying to get to as many areas as we can
Alhamdulillah.
during Ramadan as well.
And now you're going to tell us about Johannesburg as well. But the one thing I kind of always wonder about is that, Alhamdulillah, we have so very many amazing organizations in South Africa. And I should imagine even beyond Islamic relief organizations, charitable organizations like yourselves. Do you ever have a situation, or how do you guys avoid a situation where you perhaps duplicate, or is that not an issue really worry about?
So, as I said, as an Ummah, and if we're talking of Islamic organizations, we work together, we try and work together. So we're not opposed to, helping others, or if we know an organization is in an area, what we have to also understand is in these areas, there are so many people in need. So just having one organization could help, but having another one on board also could make a difference. So Alhamdulillah, we just try and stick to the ethos of our Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are one ummah. We all feel the pain of those in need, of our brothers and sisters who are fasting. So we just try and stick to those ethos, and we take it according to the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it's not about fighting or about
being territorial.
We are all, that's where we have to go back and just say we all have the same goal. We are all trying to do our best, and we're all trying to do our best, especially in the month of Ramadan, where we, increase our charity, we increase our ibadah. So that's really what it's about.
Alhamdulillah, it is so heartening to hear that, that you do work side by side and you don't become territorial. And perhaps I should imagine from time to time, even support each other. And that's what we want to hear. And that's what that's what would and should make us very proudly Muslim and very proudly South African as well. Now, apart from Ramadan, what other campaigns are you guys working on? Because I'm sure it doesn't mean now that Ramadan is come about, your focus is on your Ramadan program. Everything else, I should imagine, doesn't and can't stop.
Of course, absolutely. So at the moment, one of our big international campaigns is Syria. And even during Ramadan, we will be hosting pledges, and we are collecting for our Syrian pledge. So just to give you a bit of background, it's now one of the world's largest refugee crises, that's Syria. So which basically, since the conflict erupted in Syria in March 2011, millions of people have been impacted by years and years of relentless brutal strikes. So it's now gotten into the millions, because it's been years of strife, and lives have been killed, thousands of people have been killed, families have been torn apart. And not only does this bring obviously pain and grief and people without food and homes, there's a physical, psychological, emotional, and material devastation that will now take decades to build. So in these 11 years, the entire place has totally been torn apart. And so the Syrian crisis is, as I said, the world's largest refugee and displacement crisis. And what's worse is there seems to be no end in sight. So this will just give you, we are pleading to our donors, we are pleading to people, especially in this month of Ramadan, to please open your hearts to the people of Syria. I can give you all of the stats. Like, for example, about 5.6 million Syrians have fled their country, and another 6.2 million are internally displaced. So even though over 5 million have left, there are still 6.2 million people inside of Syria that are displaced, that don't have homes, that don't have regular access to water, food, hygiene, for the kids, for schooling, for all psychological, the psychological impact of the children who have lost their parents. I mean, the list goes on. So it's just basically wreaked social and economic havoc in the country. And so that's one of our big campaigns at the moment.
Nabila, we salute you and everybody at Islamic Relief South Africa for the really amazing work that is being carried out by the organization. For people, we do know that you've reached people's hearts in a big way via this little interview. how do they then donate generously? How do they find you? What's the best way to start contributing to this amazing organization?
Alhamdulillah, I just have to say, may Allah make it easy for us
Ameen.
and help us to continue to do this work in whatever small way we can. I always say there is nothing too small that is considered help. You mustn't think that I don't have a lot. There is never a dua even is a lot. Allah will hear our du'as. In terms of the relief aid, basically we've got different packages. So, for example, 850 rand could feed a family in Syria for a month. 2,650 rand could provide shelter and living essentials. 3,500 rand can provide urgent medical aid. As I said before, and I can't stipulate this enough. Even though we've given you guidelines on what it is that we need, it doesn't mean that you don't have 850 rand that you cannot donate. Every cent counts. So the easiest way to do it is to visit our website, which is www.islamic-relief.org.za, and you can just click on the donate now, and you can choose our various campaigns. So if it's Syria, you just choose on Syria, and you put in the amount that you'd like to donate. So that is the easiest way. But you're also welcome to pop into our offices in Durban, Cape Town, and Johannesburg. Our addresses are all on our social media pages. You can even call out one of our fundraisers, and if you can't come to us, inshallah, we can make a plan to come to you. Like I said, the situation is very dire, and we are doing everything we can to make sure that we can try and make the lives of the people in Syria a little bit easier.
And may the Almighty Allah bless one and all that works at your organization. May He bless you with ongoing good health, long life, strength, and the patience to serve the Ummah as you are doing. Jazakallah for talking to us. May Allah accept all of your efforts and reward you all abundantly. And Jazakallah for talking to us. That was Nabila Bahardin from Islamic Relief, South Africa. It is exactly 11:52 a.m.